Hi, this is Amber Garvey here to talk to you about one of the new Google Meet updates, Q&A. You'll see it in your puzzle piece dashboard, or now what looks like the Shapes dashboard, and it's at the very bottom. This is a place where you can add questions if you're a participant, and as the director or manager of the meeting, you can go in and answer questions verbally and mark them as responded to. So we're going to do a little sample of how this might look. First of all, as the manager of the meeting, you'll want to click on the Q&A button and turn on Q&A. Once you do this, your participants will be notified that the Q&A is on. Now you can turn this on before the meeting starts if you want, but you can also turn it on and off during the meeting as well so that you can control when participants can ask questions. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on Q&A, and you'll notice that I have the ability to allow or disallow questions. Also, I can sort through questions that are unanswered, answered, or hidden, and I can even put the oldest first, newest first, or the most popular. You'll notice that at the button I have the ability to ask a question. This is what the participants will see. In just a moment, you'll see that I'll have a question that will be asked by one of my participants so that you can see how this works. So now I have a question that's been submitted by a participant. What you'll notice is that the person's name is at the top, since all users have to have a Google account, so it will show their name, and it will show the date and time in which the question was posted. You'll also notice to the right of it an upvote button. This means that other participants on the call can actually upvote that question, so they'll show that others might have the same interest in having that question answered. So if another participant clicks the upvote button, you'll see a count at the very top. Underneath the question, you'll also see mark as hidden, mark as answered, or delete. This is so you, as the director of the meeting, can decide if you want others to see it. That way, if a question is inappropriate or awkward, you can hide it from the other participants, and it will be hidden from their dashboard. You also can delete the question if it's a question that you don't want to show in the panel at all, but I would tend to use the hidden button more than the delete button, unless a question has just been asked multiple times. After you verbally answered the question, or you could type the question's answer in the chat bar, you can use this button to show that it's been marked as answered. So in this example, when will this assignment be due? I can do something like this. So I see that Fake has asked when this assignment will be due, and I'd like to say this assignment is due by next Friday at 4 p.m. So once I've answered the question, I can simply mark as answered, and then in the dashboards of the participants, they'll see a check mark that indicates that this question has been answered. So this is a very handy tool to allow your participants to ask questions without having to use audio, but it also gives you a way to track your answers. So it works a little better than the chat bar. So if you've had the chat bar turned off for your students, you can turn on the Q&A so that they can still ask questions, but you have the ability to mark them as answered or not, and other students can actually vote on the importance of getting the question answered. So that's that simple. When you're finished, you can turn off the ability to allow questions, and they'll get a little thing that says Q&A is closed, but they can still see the questions that were asked during the session. Shortly after the end of your call, you will receive an email with meeting data. You'll notice there will be a spreadsheet for questions. If you open the spreadsheet, it will show any question that was asked in the Q&A portal during your session. It'll show the person who submitted the question with the timestamp, if there were any upvotes and how many, whether or not the moderator answered it, hid it, or deleted it, or if the submitter deleted a question. So this is a great way to make sure that you have information from your meetings that you can go back and analyze later. The information for both questions and polling results is stored in a folder in your Google Drive, and it will be inside a folder called Meeting Reports. So as you collect more polls and questions, you'll get a spreadsheet for each of those inside the meeting reports folder. There will be an automatic folder with the date and time stamp, and if there was a nickname to your meeting, it will also be included. Inside that folder, you will find the two spreadsheets for polls and questions. So this makes it a great and organized way for you to go back and analyze both polls and questions after your Google Meets. So that's how to use Google Meet Q&A.